Anger, this powerful and raw emotion, affects our daily life. It's a natural part of our emotional spectrum, an instinctual response to perceived threats. But when it spirals out of control, it becomes anything but natural. Imagine a pot of water on a stove. As the heat increases, so does the water's temperature, until it reaches a boiling point. That's what anger does to us. It's like a flame that, if unchecked, can bring us to our boiling point, causing a cascade of negative consequences. Uncontrolled anger can hijack our health, productivity, and overall quality of life. It's like a thief in the night, stealing away our peace of mind, turning our world upside down. It can transform us into someone we don't recognize, a stranger in our own body. When anger becomes chronic, it's not just an emotional issue, it becomes a physical one. It's a stressor that puts our body on high alert, keeping it in a constant state of fight or flight. This can lead to a host of health issues, from insomnia and digestive problems to more serious conditions like heart disease. The body, after all, wasn't designed to be on edge all the time. Productivity takes a hit as well. Anger clouds our judgment, makes us impulsive, and robs us of our ability to concentrate. It's like trying to navigate through a thick fog where everything's unclear and every step is fraught with danger. Our work suffers, our creativity dries up, and our potential remains unfulfilled. And then there's the impact on our happiness. Anger is like a dark cloud that obscures the sun of joy. It leaves us feeling drained, hollow, and disconnected from the world around us. It's a barrier that keeps us from experiencing the full spectrum of human emotions, from joy and love to empathy and compassion. Clearly, unchecked anger can take a toll on our health and happiness, but how does it affect our relationships? Can you think of a relationship that suffered because of anger? Whether it's a personal or professional bond, unchecked fury can indeed wreak havoc. Let's delve into some real-life stories that underline this. Consider the tale of John and Lisa, a couple who were deeply in love. But John's uncontrolled anger became a stumbling block. Whenever they disagreed, John's anger escalated the situation, making it impossible for them to communicate effectively. Their conversations turned into heated arguments, and instead of understanding each other, they ended up hurting each other more. In the realm of professional relationships, let's think about Mike and his team. Mike was a hardworking and dedicated leader, but his fiery temper often got the better of him. When things didn't go as planned, Mike's anger would erupt, creating an uncomfortable environment for his team. This led to tension and conflict within the team, affecting their performance and morale. Anger, when uncontrolled, has a way of creating emotional distance. Take the case of Emma and her mother. Emma's mother had a habit of expressing her anger passively, giving Emma the silent treatment whenever she was upset. This passive aggression led to a wide emotional gap between them, making Emma feel isolated and misunderstood. These stories illustrate how unchecked anger can damage relationships, leading to communication breakdown, conflict, and emotional distance. When anger takes the driver's seat, understanding and empathy take a back seat. It's like a chain reaction. Anger leads to miscommunication, which in turn causes conflict, and this conflict then results in emotional distance. But it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing the issue is the first step towards resolution. So here's the good news. We can learn to manage our anger. With the right tools and techniques, it's possible to control our reactions, communicate effectively, and maintain healthy relationships. The cost of anger on relationships is steep, but what can we do about it? In the next section, we'll explore the psychology of anger and how we can use coping techniques to keep our anger in check. Stay tuned. To manage anger, we first need to understand it. Anger, in its essence, is an emotional response. It typically springs forth when we feel threatened, disrespected, or wronged in some way. It's our mind's primal way of saying, "Hey, something's not right here." Now, don't mistake this for an assertion that anger is inherently bad. Quite the contrary. Anger can be a powerful catalyst for change, driving us to rectify injustices or stand up for ourselves and others. But when anger is not understood, not managed, it can spiral out of control, leading to personal distress and strained relationships. So, the first step in managing anger is understanding its root cause. Ask yourself, what triggered my anger? Did I feel disrespected or threatened? Am I reacting to a perceived injustice? By probing these questions, you're peeling back the layers of your emotional response, bringing clarity and paving the way towards effective management. Now that we know what causes anger, we can explore ways to manage it. How do you handle anger? Do you shout, slam doors, or do you take deep breaths and count to 10? All of these responses are natural, but some are healthier than others. When it comes to managing anger effectively, there are several proven techniques that can help. Firstly, deep breathing. This technique is rooted in the idea that our body's physical responses to anger can be interrupted by conscious, controlled breathing. By focusing on slow, deep breaths, we can halt the rush of adrenaline that often fuels our anger. This allows us to regain control and approach the situation with a calmer mindset. Next, let's consider taking a time out. This doesn't just apply to children in the middle of a tantrum. Adults can benefit from stepping away from a heated situation too. A brief period of solitude can help to diffuse your anger, giving you time to reflect and regroup before reacting. Lastly, cognitive restructuring, a term that might sound complicated but is actually quite simple. Essentially, it's about changing the way you think. It's about making a conscious effort to replace negative, anger-inducing thoughts with more realistic and less harmful ones. For instance, instead of thinking everything is ruined, try to reframe it to, this is frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. Studies have shown that this shift in perspective can significantly reduce feelings of anger and improve overall mood. Remember, it's okay to feel anger. It's a natural emotion and a part of being human. What matters is how we handle it. These coping techniques, deep breathing, taking a time out, and cognitive restructuring can help us do just that. They give us the tools to prevent anger from overwhelming us and to respond in a more thoughtful, controlled manner. As we continue to practice these techniques, we'll find that they become second nature, making it easier for us to manage our anger in a healthy and productive way. These techniques can help us keep our anger in check. But what can we do if someone else's anger is affecting us? That's a question we'll explore in the next scene. It's tough when someone else's anger starts affecting our peace of mind, isn't it? It's like a storm that sweeps in, casting a dark cloud over our day. But the good news is, we can learn strategies to weather this storm. Firstly, it's crucial to understand that other people's anger is not a reflection of you, but of their own struggles. It's like a mirror that's been twisted and warped. It doesn't show an accurate reflection. So the first strategy is to not take it personally. This isn't about denying the impact of their anger. It's about distinguishing what belongs to them and what belongs to you. This perspective helps to create a buffer, shielding you from the brunt of their rage. Secondly, setting boundaries is key. This is about defining what's acceptable and what's not in terms of how others express their anger towards you. You have the right to say no to disrespectful or abusive behavior. It's about standing up for yourself in a calm and assertive way. Remember, boundaries are not walls. They are gates that you control. Lastly, there are times when the anger of others can be too overwhelming or dangerous to manage on our own. In such cases, seeking professional help is not just an option, it's a necessity. Therapists, counselors, and support groups are there to provide guidance and tools to cope with such situations. They are like lighthouses, guiding us through the stormy seas of others' anger. So as we navigate the choppy waters of other people's anger, let's remember these strategies. Don't take it personally, set boundaries, and seek professional help when needed. It's not about controlling the storm, it's about learning to sail our ship in any weather. Remember, you have the power to manage your reactions to others' anger. So, we've covered a lot about anger, its impact, and how to manage it. We delved into how unchecked anger can cast a long shadow on our daily lives, draining our energy and happiness. We also explored the corrosive effect of anger on relationships, causing rifts and misunderstandings. But remember, understanding anger is the first step towards managing it. We've discussed various coping techniques from deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation to cognitive restructuring and problem solving. These are powerful tools that can help us navigate through the stormy seas of anger. We also touched upon how to deal with others' anger, a vital skill in maintaining harmonious relationships. The key takeaway is this: managing anger is crucial for our personal well-being and for fostering healthy relationships. It's not about suppressing our feelings, but rather expressing them in a constructive manner. While anger is a natural emotion, how we handle it can make all the difference in our lives and relationships.